Good evening or good morning. How are you guys doing? Or good afternoon. Bonsoir. It is 12:32 a.m. and I'm gonna turn down the heat. I have it at 85. And we just got home not too long ago. We went to Jingle Jam tonight with Melissa and Jason, and we saw I don't know how to pronounce her name, Bibi or Bebe something, and then I actually knew most of her songs that she sang, so and then we saw Marshmello and the Chainsmokers, and they were really good. We had a really good time. It was fun. And Melissa got the tickets. We had really, really good tickets. It just was weird because usually when I see like DJs, we're like standing somewhere, you know, where you can like dance a lot, and we were like sitting in seats. So it's like, I mean, everybody around us was standing and dancing, but it was still hard because you could like really not move a whole lot, you know. But it was fun. I put the whole thing up on my Instagram, so if you want to go see all of it on Instagram. I've been like really active on my Instagram stories lately, so go check out my Instagram, follow me on Instagram, follow my husband, Alex J. Paredes. I tag him in all of the stuff, so if you want to follow him. But we had really a fun time, and we got down there about 7:30. It started at like 8, and then it got done like right at 11. And yeah, it was interesting because it's where we saw Lady Gaga a couple years ago, and it's like this huge, it's Banker's Life. It's where like we went to go see the Pacers the other night, but it seemed a lot smaller tonight compared to when we went and saw Lady Gaga there. I don't know, but maybe it was where we were sitting or something like that. But we had a really good time, and we talked a lot about like Ultra and we still haven't picked a hotel yet, and when we're gonna go down there and all that kind of stuff. So it was fun. We had a really good time. I got up today and just kind of hung around the house for a little bit, and then I went and got coffee. It's really hard for me to wake up and not do a cup of coffee face mask because I love doing them, but I don't want to do them every day. So I went, and my nose is driving me nuts. I tried to trim around my beard with those little scissors, and those little scissors were almost like too small. So anyway, but I got up, and then I went and got coffee. I was going to try to vlog around during the day today, but I was just listening to Christmas music and stuff. And actually, when I get done with this tonight, I'm going to be listening to Harry Potter. I've got to finish Harry Potter. Like, I'm so close to the end. And, yeah. So, let's see. Oh, I weighed myself. Today's my weigh-in. Okay, you guys. Here's my accountability honesty moment. I gained 3 pounds. So last week I weighed in at 222, and today I weighed in at 225. So it's back on track, section. It's back on track, seriousness for Peter. I knew I was gonna gain this week. I knew it was gonna be one of those weeks that I gained. So, but I'm not letting myself fall down the rabbit hole of not being on track again. And it was interesting because like literally right after I weighed myself today, my phone was buzzing, and I went in the bedroom and I picked up my phone, and it was my trainer, and he was like, don't forget that you said you were going to be coming in Wednesday night to work out, so when I come in on Thursday, I want to make sure that I can see that you've come in. I was like, oh my God. You guys, my thighs hurt so bad from doing the squats yesterday. I honest to God, like, unless I wake up tomorrow and I'm feeling a lot better, I don't know how I'm gonna go and do cardio tomorrow. I mean, maybe I'll lift or something, because my legs are killing me. They're just hurt so bad. And yeah, it's not good. I literally was walking down the stairs to get the dogs today, and then I was walking up and down the stairs at Banker's Life tonight, this concert, and I was like, oh, I mean, I'm really that sore. I have got to start working out more so that I'm just in shape and I can handle it, because it is sore city on my legs. Just not used to it yet, but I'm focused on the goal. I am focused on the goal. What else did I do? Okay, after I got coffee, I went, if you didn't see my rant video, I did a little Christmas shopping for Carlitos and Sebastian, and didn't end up getting anything because I was so frustrated with the whole situation. The rant was like a funny rant. I even put a thing underneath it, and I said, this video is meant to be funny or something like that. And people still commented, and they were like, first world problems, or you don't it cracks me up that people don't understand that they're supposed to be funny. And I said twice in the video, this is meant to be a joke. Like, I'm not being serious about this. And people were still like, I guess maybe I should take it as a compliment that, I'm absolutely so hilarious that people take it serious. No, I'm joking. I love doing those rant videos. They are so much fun. They really are fun. But anyway, so I did that. But then I went to Saks because I had that $50 gift card from, what do you call it? From when I bought the Creed. And I wanted to buy some more Chanel Blue because I'm using that Creed like on a pretty regular basis. And I'm like, because I'm out of Chanel Blue, which is like my daily cologne. So I went in there, and the woman that was helping me at first, she didn't work in the section. And I was like, okay, can you like see how much this is? And so she rang up like the 3.4 ounce one, and it was like almost $200. I was like, oh, no. I know I didn't pay this before. And, so then this other woman like came, she's like, well, I don't work in the section, I might be doing the wrong one. And she was actually ringing up the cologne, not just like the eau de toilette or whatever it's called, the spray. And so the other woman came over and she helped me, and she said that it was like 120, but then I had 50. It ended up being like 70 something with tax, which is nice because it's a huge bottle. So that will last me probably 6+ months of using that every day. And Chanel Blue, I mean, if you want to spend it on your husband, like, it is a great cologne. Like, I get compliments on it all the time, and always from women. Women love Chanel Blue. I guess it could kind of be a unisex smell too. I don't know. I feel like anything could be a unisex smell at this point, you know? But it is kind of a little masculine. She was really nice. So anyway, yeah, and then I came back and, oh, no. Then I filmed my rant video, and then it was like late. It was like 5 something, and we were leaving at, Melissa and Jason were picking us up at 7. So Alex and I got home at the same time. I guess I got home about 20 minutes before him because I fed the dogs, took them out and stuff like that. And then Alex came home and we sat there and talked for a little bit, and then we went and got ready, and then Melissa and Jason picked us up, and my feet are killing me right now because I have those burgundy Vans that I bought on. So it's so funny, I got so many compliments on this shirt, and I can't remember who sent it to me, but it's Klebold Threads, and it's this t-shirt. It has rainbow, do you see it? I don't know, here, I'll have to pull in here somewhere and show you. I'll pull in here just a second so I can show it to you. But I posted it on my Instagram, and like, so many people asked me, they're like, where did you get that shirt? I love that shirt, whatever. And she actually sent it to me, and explained why she started this business with these t-shirts and stuff. It was a really cool story. I read it on here. I talked about it on here when she sent it to me. I remember that. And it's been sitting in my closet, and I really wanted to wear it, but like, it was so tight on my gut that it wouldn't fit. It's an extra large. I put it on tonight. It's like loose on me. And I had another t-shirt on. I had like this black t-shirt that's really faded. And I said to Alex, I said, which one do you like better? And he goes, oh, I like that one much better because it's like, this is like black. I don't know if you can see it, but he was like, I like that one better. He goes, that's a really cute shirt. And I was like, thanks. I was like, this girl sent it to me, and I said, I love this shirt. And so anyway, I'll pull in here in a second. I'll show you because the back has words all over it. think it says there will be bad days, but they will come to an end or something like that. And then, can you see it? I need to pull over. It's not showing up on camera. And you guys are like, Peter, we really don't care. I'll try to link her information if I remember. I've linked it before, like when I showed, I think when she sent it to me, I linked the information below. But if I don't, it's Klebold Threads. Klebold Threads. I've got all of these Chainsmokers songs stuck in my head. Have you guys had a good day today? You have? Here, I'm gonna pull right in here into Tim's Bakery. Okay, so can you see it? It's like a thunderstorm cloud, and then behind it there's like a sun. Do you see? And then on the back of it, here, I'll show you. It said, Alex, take a picture of it. My phone is almost so dead. It's like at 21%. I have it charged. I went in here and I deleted it because I had posted it. Do you guys ever do that? So this is what it looks like on the back. And it says, there will be bad days and they will end. So thank you. I don't remember who sent that to me, but that was so sweet that she sent that to me. And I loved it. And I got so many compliments on it tonight. I need to probably send her a message. Klebold Thread, shopping and retail. We are here to create clothing for the world's Shit Creek survivors, the ones who have been seen hell on earth. They keep on keeping. They keep on keeping honors the soldier. I'm confused. Oh my God, she's got a picture of that T-shirt. Oh my God, there's a T-shirt that this guy has. I'm gonna get this T-shirt, and it says, I am not who I was. Look at that. Do you see that? I am not who I was. I love that so much. So I will try to remember and link her information below. Now I need to charge my phone and be off of it. Why is my phone not charging? Oh. So I could only get one dog into the groomer. So Boo Radley is going on Thursday, and Tucker's going hopefully next week if she has an opening. And when I take Tucker, I'm just going to take PP to get a bath and a nail trim. They are so booked this time of year, and I was thinking about taking him somewhere else, but I just trust our groomer so much that works for Tanya. I mean, she's groomed, you know, Boo and Tucker since they were just babies, and they love her anyway. Are you guys ever weird about stuff like that? Like you don't like want to take your dogs to somebody else, you know what I mean? Oh my God, you guys, this is so weird, right? So Alex saw this woman today that he knows, and apparently she but they don't know each other like real well, and So she used to like do psychic medium readings. She doesn't anymore. And she's like retired from it, I guess, or something like that. But she was telling Alex, she was like, I was like, I want to meet her. Like, I want to like get a reading from her. So she was like talking to him, and she was like, the only thing that was completely off about it was, she goes, there's this woman around you and like that has passed away, and she wants me to acknowledge that she's here and that she's around you a lot, and that she is always watching over you and Peter. And she was like, did you have like a grandmother that passed away? Did Peter have a grandmother, or did you have a grandmother that passed away? And Alex was like, I mean, both of Peter's grandmothers are gone, and I have one that's gone. And she goes, well, like, her name is like Rose or something, which with my mom and my aunt, there is no connection to Rose. I mean, none whatsoever. And I feel like maybe there is, and I'm like missing it. You know what I mean? Because everything else was so on point. So she said like a couple different things, and everything that Alex was telling me, because he was like, I showed her a picture of us with your Aunt Kathy, and she was like, I think that's her. And then Alex started like crying, and he got real upset because he and my aunt were really close. And she said something about dancing in the kitchen, right? Okay, I was like, well, that would have been my mom. So she goes through these things. One of the things that she told him was, tell Peter that, she said, tell Peter about that I was there, or like to remember me being there when he first started riding his bike without training wheels, okay? I've never told Alex this story. This story has never come up with Alex and I. And no stranger would have known it, and I don't think I've talked about it on here. If I have, like, I don't remember talking about it on here or in any of my videos. But it was a joke between my mom and my dad, like any of us. And I actually have the tape down in my basement. It's one of the things I saved that I have in this little box of my mom's. So my mom and dad, when I started riding a bike, were still together. My dad, like, cassette taped, recorded the whole thing. So you can't see it, but you can hear it. And, like, when they took my training wheels off, my mom, so they're, like, having me get on the street, and my mom in the background, she's like, pedal, 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 right? And it's, like, this ridiculous joke, because all you can't hear me, and I'm like, Mom, I'm like, shut up, Mom. And she's like, and then you hear me crash, and then she's like, okay, this time you're gonna get it, pedal, 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 and my dad's, like, laughing hysterically in the back of this cassette tape. So, I was, like, telling Alex that, and there were, like, 4 or 5 things that she said that there is no, it wasn't my aunt. It couldn't have been my aunt. And there's no way that Alex would have known it. And I was like, I want to meet her. Like, I am so ready to meet a psychic medium that can, like, just nail stuff like this. And these things that he was telling her, I can't even remember what they were now. Isn't that how meaningful it was to me that I can't remember any of it? But it was the bike thing. And then it was, gosh, darn it. What were the other things? Oh my God. It was like the jewelry that I buried her in, which I haven't really told Alex anything about that, right? And then it was this cross, and she goes, Peter saved a cross of her, or Peter has a cross of hers, but he took it off, the necklace that he had it with her on, and he has it on something else. And then she looked at him and she goes, but with something else that his mom gave him, and like there's 3 things together. Okay, so she gave me the cross. I had the cross. Like, that was like, she had it and then she gave it to me. And then I have it with a St. Christopher medal that my mom gave me. And then, which we weren't even Catholic, but she gave me the St. Christopher medal. And then I have it on there with that stone, that black stone that I wore to when we went to go to, what do you call it? The Baumeister Mansion when we did the paranormal investigation. All 3 of those things are on a necklace together. I think they might actually even be in this car. Because I usually, the other day I was in here and I was digging around, and I have like my last 3 years. I know I'll just like pull one out right now. I had like my last like recovery coins in here. Maybe I took them inside. Oh no, I do. I have one right here. I'm like holding it in my hand. Anyway. But isn't that so weird? And like Alex telling me the story, he was like bawling. He was like, it just felt so weird when she was telling me it. So. And there was one other thing that was like really private between my mom and I that I'm not going to tell on here. But that Alex would have, I mean, he could have known that, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't something that would have been so hard that... Every time I talk about it on here, I'm hoping like somebody will reach out to me and be like, well, I know the psychic medium, or I'm the psychic medium. My friend Valerie, she is somebody that she swears by. She's like, you have got to call this woman. You've got to call this woman. And I'm always like, okay, Valerie, give me the number and I'll call her. And she goes, I've given you the number before. Valerie, I know you're watching this vlog because she watches all of my vlogs, okay? If you gave me that number, it was, I don't know, 8 months ago. You need to give it to me again. I don't have it. It's a little warmer tonight. It's 32. I knew that when we were downtown. It was like not too cold. It was, and it's not windy or anything. It's like actually pretty nice outside tonight. They played some remixes of some kind of like, they played like a remix of a Nirvana song. I heard them play it before, and then they played a remix of the Cranberries Zombie. Do you remember that song? I used to listen to that Cranberries. I used to listen to that Cranberries album all the time. I don't know, but I guess it would make me feel really good if like my mom and my aunt were around me, especially at Christmas time, you know? And that kind of stuff doesn't really scare me, and I do believe in an afterlife. I just really would like to have proof of it. I need to clean this windshield. I'm so bad at cleaning the windshield. I talked about that on here one time. Do you guys know any brands that have really good trucker hats? Like, I want to buy some new trucker hats, but maybe not spend this much money on one. But I want to get some fun ones. Do you guys know some, like, fun brands that have trucker hats? I said to Alex tonight, I said, we don't have any plans this weekend, do we? And he goes, no, I don't have any plans this weekend. I was like, okay, good. He was like, why? Do you have plans this weekend? I said, I have no plan, and I don't want any plans this weekend. I want to just hang out at the house. I want to read. I want to watch Christmas movies, or I don't care. We can even watch scary movies. I'm just down for some movies. You know what I mean? I want to work out. I want to just relax, and I don't want to, like, feel like I have... It stopped, but anyway, I don't want to have anything to do this weekend. Do you ever feel like that? Like, I just want to low-key it the whole weekend. Make a bunch of videos. Tomorrow, Alex works late, and then he has dinner with his friend that he works with. And I said, good, because I need the whole day. He's like, what do you need the whole day for? I said, I want to film like 3 review videos. I want to film a couple Peterisms videos. I want to get ahead of the game on some of this stuff so I can start posting. I need to get back to posting every day again on all of my channels. I said, I miss doing that. And so I'm going to try to not get up too late tomorrow and get my coffee, do a mask, come back, like go get my coffee, come back, do a mask, and then I'm going to take a shower, and I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to make videos. That's what I'm going to spend my day on tomorrow. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. And I hope one of my videos will be, I finally finished Goblet of Fire. We'll see. I'm really hungry right now. I didn't eat a whole lot today. I had a bunch of those cheeses that I was talking about. And Alex was eating some of them in the kitchen with me. And I said, now these are my diet cheeses. He goes, well, you can, here, take them back. I go, no, you can have some. I said, I'm just telling you that, like, if I have them in the fridge, I'll be going in there and pulling out 4 when there's only, like, 10 in a thing. I said, these are my diet cheeses, see, okay? I don't get a whole lot, okay? I get Morningstar sausage and basically diet cheese. That's basically my life right now, okay, of what I'm eating. I'm so over it. No, I'm not really, but... Oh, that was so pretty in there. If I knew how to get in there, I would go and show you guys. All the Christmas lights. But anyway, we got laughing so hard about the cheese. We were sitting in the kitchen. He was sitting on the counter. We were just like talking and reliving the night and talking about Miami and stuff. We always get like so romantic, like going to listen to DJs. I don't know what that is about us, but we just love that music together, you know? And the Chainsmokers sing a lot of those kind of like cheesy romantic songs anyway, you know? Christmas is kind of the time to be romantic though, don't you think? Somebody on my rant video today said, but I thought you loved Christmas. I do love Christmas. It was a joke. I love Christmas. I'm probably like one of the biggest lovers of Christmas ever. I would love to be in that movie like The Night They Saved Christmas, and I would even said it would be like me. I'd be Jacqueline Smith, and you know, they take me to the North Pole, and I'd actually get to learn that there really is a Santa Claus. I would love that so much. If I at 46 years old found out there really was a Santa Claus. I believe. Do you ever think about if there really are miracles that happen in the world, you know? I remember watching that movie Agnes of God. I've talked about it on here before, but that movie had such a profound impact on me. And there's a scene outside when Anne Bancroft, who plays like the Mother Teresa, and Jane Fonda, who's like this reporter that came in. She's either a reporter or an investigator, I can't remember. But anyway, it had such a profound impact on me, I can't remember, right? But it was also a play, and I think maybe, I was going to say by Marcia Norman, but I don't think it was by her. She wrote Night Mother and a couple others. But anyway, Crimes of the Heart, I think Marcia Norman wrote. But there's a scene when they're outside, and Jane Fonda smokes, and so Anne Bancroft asks her if she can like share her cigarette with her, and she's like, you smoke? And she's like, not now, but I used to in my old life. And she talks about how she wasn't always a nun, and they go through this whole thing where they talk about like the different saints and people in the Bible and who would have smoked what. It's hilarious scene, but then it gets very serious, and Jane Fonda says something about miracles, and she's like, do you still believe in miracles? And Anne Bancroft says, I do, but not the way that we perceived them back in the day. And but she's like, I believe that miracles happen every day. And you know, it's kind of a weird concept because so like these are two completely different things. But when I used to like follow the dead and stuff, we would go like this, and this is a miracle. Like you wanted to get, there's even a song by the Jerry Garcia band called Waiting on a Miracle. Waiting for a Miracle? Waiting on a Miracle. But anyway, somebody will know. Leave in the comment section below. I have to say, I almost like the Jerry Garcia band better than I like Grateful Dead at times. So anyway, but if you would walk around the lot, and this meant that you were looking for a ticket, a miracle, and people would say, do you have a miracle? And that meant like a ticket. Well, in sobriety, right, we talk about all of us being miracles. Like you're a miracle if you're sober because you made it here, you know? And coming up on my sobriety date, it's weird because it's like it feels that way sometimes, like, you know, like I really shouldn't be here, you know, and it is a miracle that I'm here. Christmas has such a different meaning to me now, you know. It's like I almost look at like two lives of Christmas, if that makes sense. Like there was Christmas growing up, well, I guess three. There was Christmas growing up for me, which, you know, was like with the family and Santa Claus and church and all that stuff, and it was just very mystical, you know. It's very Christmas was always very like magical and mystical for, you know, to me. I literally tonight I took a shower and just threw on this hat, but look how shiny my hair is. I used, in case you care, the Aquage strengthening shampoo, That's what Alex uses, so I use it sometimes. And then I use the Veganese conditioner from Lush. And I use the Neutrogena Rejuvenating Shower Gel. There you go. And the Mrs. Meyer's Lavender Lotion. I need to go get some lotion. We are almost out of lotion, and I need to get, I'm getting the Aveeno next time. I like the Mrs. Meyer's, but it's not as good as the Aveeno. So anyway, it's like I have like 3 different kinds of Christmas. I had like the Christmas growing up, which was very magical and mystical, right? But at the same time, there was like a sadness that came to it too. Like, I talked about that on here. I think I often like kind of retreated into this idea of like reading all these books and, you know, just getting very Christmassy, because at that time, like when I was growing up, because I didn't really want, I mean, Christmas was filled with a lot of drinking, you know, of adults around me and stuff, and it wasn't like I didn't know it, you know. It's like one of the things that is always interesting to me is like, I think this concept that a lot of people have, and I don't know, if I'm talking to one person out there right now, I don't mean this by any way, you know, like maybe this is some motivation, but like I knew from a very young age what drinking was. And I knew that when my mom drank a lot, I didn't understand alcoholism. I didn't understand that it was a disease. I didn't understand about 12-step programs. I didn't need to understand all that. I knew mom drank too much and she acted different when she did, and I didn't like it. It made me uncomfortable. I didn't like that, you know, she fell asleep and passed out. I mean, I didn't like it, but I knew what it was, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm so grateful that she got sober, but I think that there's this misconception that kids don't really understand when mom or dad or brother and sister are acting different. They absolutely do. I think sometimes kids get more shit than adults do. I think sometimes as adults, it happens right in front of our face and we don't even really realize it's going on, because we kind of like lie to ourselves or rationalize or intellectualize, but kids see it for what it is. They truly do, you know? And I remember like working in treatment, you know, when I would do like family sessions with people and family, because I ran family groups, but then I would do like individual family sessions with people, and like siblings were always so impacted by, you know, the use of their sibling, and also feeling like they didn't tell mom and dad what was going on, and they, you know, should have told them that they were like sneaking in late at night, and they always felt real responsible for it. And it really screws with siblings a lot, addiction does, you know? And so, but when I was growing up, like Christmas was very like magical and mystical and whatever, and I kind of like, I think that was my escape. And then when I started drinking, you know, it's like I would sneak off and, you know, drink in the other room or whatever, or like, you know, run into the kitchen while everybody was like, I knew the bottle of wine was sitting out there that was being poured to everybody, and I like chug a glass of wine or whatever, you know, and, you know, just be like rosy cheeked enough that by the time that everybody left or my mom was going to sleep or whatever, that I was like feeling buzzed. And that was like high school. I mean, I was smart enough not to get completely drunk on Christmas, at least in high school. Now, college, I made an ass of myself a couple times. But then there's, so like the first part would have been like the magical, mystical Christmas of me growing up, and the second part would have been the very active addiction part. It's like I have this really sad story. I like remember this one time, like my mom and I, we used to take walks on Christmas Eve when everybody would leave, and we would take a walk down the street, and it was like really snowy and icy, and we were both like tipsy but like not acting like we knew that the other one was, and we're like slipping and falling on the ice and stuff like that. Just, I look back on that and we were kind of laughing about it and stuff like that, but just really sad when I look back on that, you know? You never know when your last Christmas with somebody is, and I mean, I definitely didn't with my mom, and I really wish in retrospect there are some things that, well, I'll talk about that in a second. But then the last Christmas, the last section of my Christmas is since I got sober, and you know, I think being that I was in treatment over Christmas was so powerful for me. Like, it made me realize that Christmas is just what we make it to be, and it's just any other day. I mean, literally, like there are millions of people in the world that Christmas will come and go, and it doesn't mean anything to them, especially people that don't celebrate Christmas, right? So it's like there are millions of people out there that don't celebrate Christmas. It means nothing to them, or it comes and goes. It's kind of like in a weird way, like, you know, like 4th of July in the United States, but to the rest of the world, it doesn't really mean shit, you know what I mean? It's like, or Thanksgiving here or something, you know? But the last part, I think, and I don't mean it like Christmas doesn't mean anything. What I mean by that was being in treatment. And I mean, they did some special stuff for us, but like really what I realized was, I mean, it's not this big build-up thing. I wasn't getting a bunch of presents. I didn't get any presents that year, you know, except for what I got in treatment. And it was really, quite frankly, a buzzkill. You know what I mean? And so what I realized after that when I got out, like my wanting to celebrate Christmas the following year was huge. Like just being invited, you know, to places for Christmas. And they were still apprehensive about me being there, you know what I mean? And it just was a huge deal. Holidays became such a big deal to me because I just felt so grateful to be with my family and, you know, to be able to afford to buy people something. And you know what? I mean, it just meant something so completely different to me. And I think that I had to be in a situation where that like Christmas just, it didn't mean anything except for that it became a very spiritual holiday for me. And I remember being in treatment at Christmas, and it's weird because that Christmas Eve, like I remember watching It's a Wonderful Life, like they had it on in the lounge, but like all of the people would like go to bed early. Of course, I was up late because I'm always up late. And I remember like going outside to smoke on the patio when it was snowing, you know, and it was just very still and very silent. It was very similar to New Year's, the story that I've told about New Year's. And I just remember it being like a very still and silent Christmas Eve. And then I woke up the next day and they had put these like real like little pine trees. We had a desk, each of us had a desk, and they put it like on our desk in our room, and it had little ornaments on it and stuff. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I think you can buy them at the grocery store or somewhere. They're like literally like little pine trees, and then they have like, you know, ornaments on them and stuff. And then they gave us each like a recovery book, and then like a bag of like candy. I mean, it was nothing, right? But what's so funny is when I got out of treatment, later I watered that thing forever, and I ended up giving it to my mom. And because I mean, I had nowhere to keep this pine tree, you know. And my mom, she ended up planting it at the condo right outside the door, and it ended up becoming this huge bush that went in all these different directions. And finally, by the time that like Alex and I moved in there, this thing was like out of control. And I left it there for like the first 2 years that we were there, but then I was like, this thing's got to come up. Like it just did not look good. And so I remember I finally like took it out, and it was really hard for me to take it out. Like it had been there forever, you know, that my mom, like it meant so much to her that she had planted that thing. And oh god, my legs, oh shoot. I had asked my family not to come visit me on Christmas, which they didn't want to anyway. My mom wanted to. She was the one person that I said, no, I don't want anybody to come visit me on Christmas. And with her, I was apprehensive that she would show up drunk. My dad and my stepmom had no intention of coming to visit me on Christmas. They were so pissed at me. And because I got into treatment on the 17th, well, like, 16th going into the 17th. And, then was a complete ass for that first week and just was like, let me out of here, let me out of here, let me out of here. They were not coming to visit. And so, but I had 2 friends come to visit me on Christmas Day, and I sat and talked to them for a while, and then I had another friend come, and when she came, like she and I, all our friendship was about was like using together. And I looked at her and I said, like she came after visitation time was up, and so they called me and they said she was up front. So I went up there and she bought me like a little present and stuff, and it was really nice. But like literally 100% of our relationship was about using drugs together, not drinking, using drugs. And I looked at her and I said, I can't have you here. And I said, I love you and you mean a lot to me, but I can't have you here. And she was like, why not? And I said, literally looking at you is like staring at a joint. Like, I cannot have you here. And she was like, I understand. And I said, I really want you in my life. I said, but like things have to change between us. And that was a friendship that she and I did not, like, we didn't, I would see her occasionally, but like it was never really the same again. And we talked after that, and she asked me what I meant by that when she came in there, and I said I just associate our friendship with using, and she acknowledged it, and she was like, well, that's all we do together. And she was like, do you think that we could do something that, like, you know, we could hang out and it not just be about that? And I was like, well, we could try, and we did, but you know, they tell you to change people, places, and things, and like I would see her out and she'd just be completely wasted, and it made me sad. And you know, and I'm not talking about seeing her out at a bar, because I wasn't going to bars like my first year sober, but after that I did see her for, I don't know, it was like a long time before I started going out, but I would see her out and she'd be completely wasted, and it would just make me sad. But in that first year, you know, like I would like meet up with a friend, like I would go to a friend's house and like pick them up or whatever, and you know, she'd be over there and she'd just be wasted, and it'd just be like always pilled out of her head and stuff, and I'm just like, made me really sad, you know. And then she stopped calling me, just like immediately after I got out of treatment, she stopped calling. And so I called her like soon after that and said, can we talk? She was a close friend of mine. It's sad when you realize that your friendship is like, the commonality of it is drugs or drinking, you know. And then when you start looking at a lot of your friendships, and I can only speak from my experience, I mean, a lot of people out there might be different, be like, no, I had a lot of good friends and we were friends too, but like, it wasn't just all about that. Well, I had friends that it wasn't all about that, and it felt very deep, but I have to be honest and say that the majority of the friendship was about that. And so when I stood back and I looked at these friendships, what I started realizing was I didn't really have any true friends. And not just because of them, because I was a shit friend to them too. Our friendships were all about drinking and drugging. That's all it was about, you know? I thought it meant a lot more, but it really didn't. They were very superficial friendships. And what I realized was I didn't really have anybody in my life, you know? And the one group of people that I did have in my life was my family, and I pushed them away. So I'd given all my time and attention to these people that because of their own active addiction, they didn't, or they're using, or whatever it was at that time, they didn't have the capacity to love me on the level without drugs and alcohol involved. And the one group of people that did love me, I pushed them all away, you know? I had a couple friends of mine that like stuck around, and like my friend that I was talking about on here the other day that we like drank all the time together, like she was such a huge support system to me. She like immediately stopped drinking, like immediately. I think she drinks now, but like we ended up living together when I was sober. Like she moved away and then she moved back, and she and my first boyfriend and I, we got an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment together, and we lived together, and she never like drank in there, you know. The last 6 months, my boyfriend would be like, I think she was drinking in there last night, and he would like go in there, her bedroom, and there'd be like a bottle of wine in her trash can or something, but not very often. I had to change all of that stuff, you know, like for me, I had to change. I couldn't continue to hang around all of the same people and everything, like, and I had every other time done it where I thought, no, I can stay sober and keep these people, and I just couldn't. And I don't know how it works for other people, I really don't. But there became a point when everything that I did in early sobriety that I was told not to do, like, blew up in my face, like dating. And so there became a point when what I was told to do, I just did it. Like, because I was like, okay, you have realized that your best thinking got you where you are. So maybe it's time to listen to what somebody else has to say to you, because they love you enough and they care enough about you to tell you, like, this is what you need to do. So when, you know, my sponsor would say, like, are you ready to try it my way now and not be in a relationship? Yes, I was, you know, and it didn't get into a relationship until he was, like, okay with it. And it's still to this day, like, any major life changes, I run by my sponsor. because I don't always think shit through, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think most of us do, and it's always great to have an outside perspective on it. It was interesting because, God, what was it? Like 4 or 5 years ago, I had an old, like, coworker that I wanted to make amends to. And we were gonna, like, I had to call her about some stuff, and I never talked to this person, like, ever. And I wouldn't say we're on bad terms, but I wouldn't say we're on good terms. And they were doing, like, a fundraiser, and they needed me to help them because I knew the person that, like, they wanted to help with this fundraiser thing, like, to speak at. So she reached out to me and was like, can we talk? So I get the message, and I'm, like, getting ready to call her back, and I'm thinking, this is a perfect opportunity for me. This is a God moment. This is a perfect opportunity for me to make amends, right? And then I can move forward and have that off my plate, you know? So I called my sponsor, and I said, this is before I had the sponsor that I have now. This is my last sponsor that I had. And I said, like, I want to make amends to her, you know? And he goes, no, you're not going to do that. And I said, why not? And he goes, so that making amends is the 9th step, okay? Which is, step 8 is made a list of people we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Step 9 is make direct amends to those people unless to do so would injure them or others. So step 9 is making the amends. Step 8 is making a list. 6 and 7 are about character defects, okay? And 4 and 5, 4 is made a searching for those. I can always see it when it's going into red. He was like, you haven't even we haven't done inventory on her, okay? And so when you do inventory on somebody, you take a look at that person or that thing or that organization, event, whatever, and then you take a look at, like, why you're resentful at that person. Like, why, like, this would be in the when you make an inventory, a 4-step inventory, okay, you make a list of resentments, you make a list of fears, you make a list of your sexual conduct, and then in a 5th step, you share that with your sponsor. You could share it with a psychiatrist, you could share it with a counselor, you could share it with a priest, you could share it with a rabbi, you could do whatever you want to do. But most people share it with their sponsor, right? And you go through, and what you do is you make a list of, like, in the resentment section, like, who your resentment is at or what your resentment is at. And then you take a look at why you're resentful at that person, okay, or organization, event, whatever. And then you look at the areas of your life that it's affected. Like, what areas of my life has it affected? Has it affected my ego, my pride? Has it affected my reputation? What has it affected? All these different areas, right? And then the 4th column is you take a look, and this is the real fun part, all right, that I didn't know, okay, because I didn't get it when I first did it. But you take a look at what your part is in that, right? Because this is about rectifying our past. And so most resentments that you have towards somebody, you have a part in. Most, okay? There are some that are excluding of that, you know, which I'm sure you guys can figure out which ones those are, of really some harsh nature. But by and large, most things that we're resentful at in life, or we've held a grudge against, maybe our part in that is that we've continued to hold the grudge. Like, it could be as simple as that, you know? Or it may be something that happened between two people, and what was that, you know, whatever. And so anyway, he goes, you haven't even done a 4-step, okay? We haven't gone over in the 5th step. As a result of that, we haven't taken a look at your character defects that played out in your interactions with this person. You haven't asked God to remove those character defects, which is step 7. He goes, and you haven't made a list of, she's even on your list of resentments, because this was before I had done, like, a new 4-step. He was like, she's not even on a list of people that you're or people that you need to make amends to, and you're not making any amends, okay, until you pray on it and we process it first, and before you go into it. And I was like, okay. And he goes, here's the thing. He was like, you might not even owe her an amends, or you might go into that, because they always tell us not to go into it making amends with having any expectations whatsoever, and that you really make the amends for you, not for the other person. although I've been on the receiving end of amends before, and let me just tell you, it does feel very freeing when somebody makes amends to you. An amends is not an apology, okay? An amends is saying, I wronged you and I need to take responsibility for it, and this is what I've done. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me that I did that I'm not aware of? And so, I said to him, okay, and he goes, to be honest with you, Peter, he goes, like, you making this amends without us doing the previous steps on it might be worse down the road because you might need to make amends to them again, I was like, okay, so I sat on it and I didn't make amends, and then, down the road we inventoried it and went through it, and then he allowed me to make amends to this person, and, did it fix the relationship? No, but I will say that the tension between us was lifted, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen her a couple times since then, and there's no, hard feelings. We're always like, hey, how are you? It's great to see you, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say that we're best friends or anything by any means, but, and the really interesting thing is, because this person is in sobriety too, she turned around and made amends to me. So, it's like, it fixes all of that. I don't know. I don't even know how I got on that tonight. What was I talking about that got me on all of that? I mean, I have had experiences where I've made amends without processing stuff with my sponsor before. I was talking about friends, and then I was talking about my old roommate. I'm like going back in my head. Changing people, places, and things is basically what I was talking about, but the two amends that I've made that I didn't process with my sponsor really, fully. Well, one completely came out of the blue, and it was an ex-professor that I had. I've told that story on here before, and that was a life-changing story for me. I think I even made a Peterisms video about it. I'm thankful I made that amends, and I think it went exactly the way that it was supposed to go. And I'll never forget that woman. I was in Starbucks when I saw her, and she remembered me like it was yesterday, and she gave me a hug at the end, and she gave me a hug, and then she pulled back, she held my arms, and she goes, you have a wonderful life. And I was like, or you have a good life, or something like that. And I was like, just chills, I was never gonna see this person again. It was totally random that I saw her, and I think it was all meant to be. The other person that I made amends to, and I do tell this when I share about the amends process, because it can go horribly wrong, is that I wouldn't call him an ex-boyfriend because we didn't date that long, but it was the very first person that I ever really dated off and on, when I came out, and he and I dated, I would say it was off and on for 6 months or so, really more off than on, and we brought a lot of pain to each other's lives, and it just was not pretty. Well, he lived very far away, and a very close friend of ours, I've talked about him on here before, took his life. And so I had no clue that he was going to be at the funeral. I mean, he lives out of the country. I had no clue that he was going to be at the funeral. And so in the parking lot, I chased him down, and he was leaving, and I stopped him and I said, can I talk to you for a second? And he was he just shook me off, and I was like, hey, I need to talk to you. And so I said it 3 or 4 times, and finally he turned around and goes, what the fuck do you want? And I go, I need to talk to you. I need to make amends to you. I've been sober. I just sped through the whole thing, right? And he just kind of sat there and he looked at me and he goes, what do you want from me? And I go, I just want you to allow me to make this amends. And he goes, okay. And so I sat there because I was chasing after him, And so I made it. And he goes, well, so what do you need from me? And I go, I just need you to tell me what you need me to do to rectify the situation. He goes, I'll tell you what to do. He goes, don't ever fucking contact me again, ever. I don't ever want to hear from you again. And I was like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. You know what I mean? Okay, that's the easy one. I can do that. But really, that was the only negative amends that I had. The only one. And I am thankful that I made that amends. You know what I mean? understand that he wasn't ready to hear it at that time, and that was really close to when I got sober. So, I mean, I was probably not even 24 yet, and we had dated when I was like 19 or something. I may have been 18. God, that's so weird, isn't it? I hardly even remember what he looks like, but I can see him standing in that parking lot, kind of. That funeral home. It's weird as you get older, like some things like stand out like so strongly to you that you remember, and other things just seem like distant, like, you know, tides on the beach that come and go, and you like totally don't remember, like, it's like, oh, what did that wave look like? Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so strange sometimes. So yeah, like going back to what I was saying about the Christmas, so I think I very much like had like 3 different kinds of versions of what Christmas were. And now it's like Christmas is really like I was joking about this in my rant today about like Christmas is not for the kids and whatever, but like Christmas really is for the kids. Let's just be for real, you know? But Christmas is also about like just being with the family and just being like this unlimited amount of time that we're able to spend with our families. You know, if we don't have to work, you know, shifts on holidays. I always worked holidays. I mean, you know, like somebody had to be there, so you know what I mean? And like running groups, and you know, if there was something that was going on, we all had to take a holiday. And I remember one year I worked 3rd shift on Christmas Eve going into Christmas Day, and that was actually the year that I read The Christmas Train by David Baldacci, which I listened to again last year on Audible, but I had read it like years before, obviously years before, but somebody called in sick, and I was the counselor on call. And okay, you know, you're not getting nobody to come in to work the 3rd shift on, it wasn't a counselor, I mean, it was a tech that had called in, but like, you're not getting anybody to come in on Christmas Eve, right? And it was like at like 9 o'clock they called. They were really sick though. And I was like, okay. So I grabbed the book and I went in there, and it was me and like one other person that we were just like working 3rd shift. And so I just sat there at the nurse's station the whole night. Like I read that book like in one setting, and I thought it was so fantastic. And I kind of all, you know, like there's like a stillness about that night. I don't know what that stillness is that I'm always searching for, you know? Do you guys know what I mean by that stillness? It's just like, you ever just like stand outside, like when, okay, like I take the dogs out like late at night before we go to bed, you know? And I'll like stand out on the street and I'll like just like look up at the stars, and it's just like, because of our neighborhood, I think there's just not like a lot of cars going by and stuff, you know, and it's just so quiet and so still, and it feels so spiritual, like in that moment, you know, of just standing out there. I love it. Another night that I had to come in and work a 3rd for somebody, I read Hunter Thompson. Somebody was just asking me about this the other day. I'm not going to say who, but why I don't like this book. It's not that I dislike the book, although I will tell you the pictures in it are really creepy. But I read Hunter Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and I think it was really because, A, because I'm sober and it's all about drugs, but B, because of the setting that I was in when I read it, that I was like in a treatment program, you know, like in the middle of the night sitting there with like a nurse, you know, and we're like sitting there reading it, and or I'm sitting there reading it next to her, you know, while she's flipping through probably Family Circle magazine or something, and I don't know, I didn't like that book. But I don't really love a whole lot of that, like, beatnik literature. I tried so hard, like, you know, I would start, like, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and I couldn't get through it. And I would try, like, what's the one, On the Road, you know, couldn't get through it. I tried to read all of those, like, beatnik authors, and I just couldn't get into it. I just really couldn't. But I will tell you, what's that woman? She's in, shoot. She's in that movie, Corpse. House of a Thousand Corpses. Karen Black. Oh my God. Have you ever seen 5 Easy Pieces with Karen Black? And I think Jack Nicholson is in it. That was kind of like a beatnik movie. That is like one of the most fantastic movies of life, okay? It is so good. Oh my God, Karen Black, I love her. Do you know another movie I really, really love? It's like one of my all-time favorite movies, and I rarely ever watch it, and I have it on DVD and on VCR tape, and that is Jackie Brown with Pam Grier. I love that movie so much. I love the part when she like goes to the door, Robert De Niro's apartment, and he's like, the girl answers the door, and it's Bridget Fonda, and she's like, who's here? And she goes down, she goes, Jackie Brown. Have you guys ever seen the movie Jackie Brown? It's fantastic. It is absolutely one of the most fantastic movies ever, and it has like this ensemble cast, and it is just hilarious. Was it directed by Quentin Tarantino? I can't remember who directed it, but it's very violent, like a Quentin Tarantino movie. And Samuel Jackson's in it too. Isn't he in it? Yeah, I think Samuel Jackson's in it. I'm most positive. It's a good movie. It's really a good movie. And it has a great ending to it too. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but okay. So there's a scene, I think it's Robert De Niro and Bridget Fonda, and they're like in this parking lot, and he's got like a gun. And they're supposed to be like exchanging this bag of cash. Do you guys know what this movie is? Okay. Is it Robert De Niro in that scene? And she plays like this California kind of like beach blonde that like drinks like these, I can't believe I'm remembering all this and I haven't seen this movie in years, but she like drinks all these shakes, right? Like she makes a shake when, who is it that goes over to the house? I think it's Robert De Niro, and I can't remember who her boyfriend is. I think her boyfriend might be Samuel Jackson. And so she and Robert De Niro are supposed to go pick up this money at the mall and exchange it with Jackie Brown, right? And so she's like blending up the shake, and he's like, what is that? And she's like, it's like a shake. And she's like, and it has all the calories of this, but you don't eat the food. And he goes, why would you want to do that? Or anyway, so like she's like slowly getting more and more on his nerves, right? And so they're like in the parking lot, and he can't find the car. And she's like, you can't find the car? Is it over there? Could it be over there? Or is it down that row? And he's like, she's like, you know, just needling him. And he like pulls around, and he's got the gun out, and he's like, boom, boom, boom. And he just like kills her flat in this parking lot. Have you guys seen the movie? It's really well done. I remember seeing that in the movie theater. Oh my gosh, my eye is killing me. Well, maybe Alex and I will go see some movies this weekend. I still have the gift card that Cherie sent me to go see, darn it. Why can't I think what that movie's called? About Queen. About Freddie Mercury. Starts with a B. Why can't I think of what the movie is called? So we might go see that. And then Alex got a Fandango card. He goes, can I use this at any movie theater? I said, yeah, I think so. So we've got 2 movie cards to go use, so we may do that. Why can't I think of what that stupid movie is called? I'm so mad. And I was so mad. I literally, every person that I asked to go see it with, I asked Alex. He's like, I'm not really interested in seeing that. And I asked Tanya. She's like, and I thought Tanya would want to go see it. She's like, no. And then I asked Valerie, and she was like, I don't really want to see it. I'll go with you if you want me to, but I don't really want to see it a whole lot. What is that movie called? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You're all shouting it at the video thing. I know you are. Hold it down, hold it down. I'm about to look it up. It starts with a B. Wiggle your toes and you'll remember it. I was like, why is that car pulling in after me? Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Freddie Mercury movie. If you pull it up, it says Freddie Mercury teeth. If you pull up Freddie Mercury. I should have known that. Bohemian Rhapsody. Why did that just completely come? I couldn't remember who it is. I want to see this movie so bad now. was looking at the actors that were in the movie. I don't know who they are. I posted a picture of me and my husband at the concert tonight. Do you want to see? Hi. And I just got a notification. Manda Santos said, "This is so cute." Thank you, Manda Santos, if you watch this. I don't think she does. Her profile says, "California Dreamin'." I love that. California dreaming on such a winter's day. I walked into a church. My mother loved the Mamas and the Papas. I passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees. Do you guys ever look through Instagram? It's just like you could like all of these things that they have that like the sponsored things. You could just like buy all of them. Like I'm trying to look up one to give you an example. But I can't find one. Well, I got down. Let me see. Come on. Anyway, I can't find one. But I do want those lamps, and I'm trying to think of what else. I was starting to think that my face was looking a little thinner, but I guess it's not. Oh well. I still haven't put up my Christmas tree yet. Tomorrow, I'm putting up my Christmas tree. I have the whole day tomorrow at the house, so I'm gonna get up and I'm put up my Christmas tree. I actually think I'm gonna film my Peterisms videos first, or at least one first, and get it up. I wanna get it up early tomorrow. That's my goal, is to like film stuff and get it up early. And then my booktube video. I'm gonna do like backwards order of filming videos tomorrow. Are there Christmas movies out right now? I think I'd kind of like to go see a Christmas movie. Do you remember when there used to be Christmas movies in movie theaters? And there aren't anymore. I don't know why the only Christmas movie I can think of is that Santa Claus movie that came out with Dudley Moore about 1,000 years ago, but that's what I was thinking of. I'll put on the candle waxes tomorrow, and I'll go get a coffee, and then I'll take a long hot shower with all of my Lush products, and then I will just hang out with the pups all day long and make videos and stuff, and it'll be a really fun day. Yep, that's it. So, and tonight, now, I'm going to get off here, and I am going to finish Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. At least I'm going to attempt to. So, and tomorrow, I'm going to try to vlog throughout the day. So anyway, thanks for watching with me, you guys. And it's a little bit later than I thought it was. It's like 1:40. So I don't know how much of Harry Potter that I'm going to actually get done tonight. But I can finish it tomorrow, too. So, like, if I can finish most of it tonight, except for, like, a half an hour or so, I can finish that tomorrow. But anyway, are you guys reading any Christmas books? Are you watching any Christmas movies? Let me know in the comment section below. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. You've made it halfway through the week. And I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.